Hi, this is my October 4th orchid update. And I'm going to start off with these two. One that you've seen before. The one on the left is Dendrobium hibiki, which seems to be very common in collections, and for a good reason. This plant's been in bloom since June, and here we are in October, and it's only lost one flower, and who knows how long it was in bloom before I bought it. So all the canes are actually growing new leaves, and there's a bunch of keikis growing as well. So it's a very healthy plant, though it's not all that big. It's a very small plant. Next to it is one that you've seen on Orchidea's channel. This is Neophanedia benihime, and this is it's not a pure Neophanedia, but it does produce some beautiful pink flowers. So far I haven't been able to detect any fragrance, but the flowers have only been opened for 2 days. So basically I've had this plant for 6 years, and oddly enough this is its best blooming. I've had problems with this plant, but now it seems to be on track. So after it's finished flowering, I'm going to repot it in some fresh moss. This is Papio spicerianum, and it's just about ready to open. I was hoping that it might be ready for this video, but it's not. I bought this in bloom last year, and it grew a couple of new growths, and one of them is blooming, so that's awesome. Probably one of the easier Asian lady slippers. Okay, so my Fragmapediums. You've seen this guy before. This is Hene Papau, and it's still in bloom. This is its 4th flower. Still rose scented, and there's a few more buds on the way. So yeah, so let's see how long this one goes. Anyways, I highly recommend this one. This one's, I guess once they get well established, they're fairly easy to bloom. And that's longifolium in the back, Fragmapedium longifolium. And that one is on its 4th flower. And I checked, and there is a little bud in there. So yeah, so that's Fragmapedium longifolium. I'm hoping this one will bloom all winter. And continuing on with the Fragmapediums, this one here is Andean Fire. You've seen this one bloom before. So it's blooming at about the same time. So when it has a new growth, I guess it can bloom on a yearly basis, which is something not all my Fragmapediums do, unfortunately. But yeah, okay, so I'm really happy with this, even though the flower color on this one is not my favorite because it's not the reddest. This is Miltasia Howard Fitch, and I got this in February in spike, and so it bloomed, and 8 months later it's back to a spike again. So it's a relatively easy bloomer, so grows in bright light, and it drinks a lot. It's a very thirsty plant. Yeah, so the flowers are kind of purple, and I was really hoping that this would open, but it's very slow to develop. So next to it, it's mostly Oncidiums. I have lots of Oncidium types. This is my Oncidium Twinkle Fantasy, and it's got 2 spikes this year. So as it does most years, it doesn't need a lot of bright light, and it seems to do well no supplemental lighting, just on the windowsill. Okay, so this is my Oncidium Heaven Sent, which I bought about the same time as my longifolium at a local nursery, and it has bloomed. This is its second blooming since, and probably its best blooming, because this spike is just starting to open now. And this is, of course, fragrant. Oncidium Heaven Sent is pretty much like Sherry Baby. The flowers smell like chocolate or vanilla. And it also has a second spike. And while I was bored, waiting for something fragrant to show up, I bought this one here, which looks a whole lot like Oncidium Heaven Sent. But the flowers are more burgundy on this one. And I would say the scent is more like raspberry. This is my Zygopetalum. The name is really long. I'll have to pull out the tag. This is Zygopetalum Morris. Anyways, you can read the tag. I just bought this year, and when it arrived, it wasn't in bloom and it didn't have a spike, but it did grow this this nice growth here. And as Zygopetalums go, I guess you have to have a new growth, and there you go. This thing here is the new. This is the spike that's about to emerge. I don't know if you can see that. Whoops, right here. So I'm pretty excited. I've never bloomed this before, so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. Next in line is one that you've seen, but I'm quite frankly surprised that it's pulled out some flowers for me, some buds I should say. I just found this by accident just a couple of days ago. This is my epidemic ciliary, and I guess it's just its time of the year. It looks like there's 3 buds here. On a good year, it'll have a lot more, and it'll bloom on several spikes. But I divided this plant, and I gave a division to Lucy the cat, and so. Anyways, total surprise. I really didn't expect this to bloom this year, so we'll see what it does. And let's see here. Under the very underrepresented department so far is my Pereira Rapipath, which is that Bangkok sunset, which bloomed this summer. And as you can see, it's blooming again. Yeah, it's blooming again. So I'm really happy because even though these flowers last just 3 weeks, they are heavenly scented. Just amazing. So here's one you've not seen before. This is Brassavola and the dosa. And I bought this sometime in the summer. And I didn't know at the time, but it was starting to grow a spike. And it doesn't form a sheath like my little star, so I had no idea. So anyways, pretty exciting. So it has 4 flowers. They are not as fragrant as I thought they would be, but the flowers are much larger than my little stars, and the scent is very different than my Jiminy Cricket, which is on its end now. But I'm not crying too much because there is another sheath here that's going to flower, and there's 2 more in the back, so I won't turn the plant. But and the last one I will show today is this one. I don't know if you can see in the sheath, but there are buds. So right here. So this is Hawaii Stars, and it bloomed for me last year. So that's about it. I'm gonna switch over to my pretty flower, and I'm gonna thank you for watching, and happy growing, everyone.